could understand that IIT Madras Alumni Association has been functional for past 55 years and might have witnessed a paradigm shift in its key operations, like how do you reach out to alumni and how the database is being managed, or how the alumni engagement takes place, or how organizing alumni events has transformed, or how do you solicit alumni support. So, having said that, how do you feel alumni relations have evolved operationally, and how has technology made it effortless and more efficient for you?
Okay, that's so shall we move to the slide? Yeah. Yeah. So I think we'll talk about the database first. So when we talk about the database, I think the quality of the database and how we stored it has changed. It's a big paradigm shift of what we had. So I would say, though we say it's from Excel sheet to Access database to cloud, I would say even in the earlier from the 1964s, I had books in the office where everything was handwritten. Every year had one book, and so that is how it was maintained. So that was the storage part of it. Now, looking at the quality at that time, all that they had was, they had what was the name of the student and their address, maybe the parents' address, basically. But we never knew where they went and what happened to them later. And that was again shifted to an Excel sheet at some point of time in the 90s, and then we moved to an Access database, and now we are all on cloud. And so the quality is what has, of course, the technology we've moved from, I would say, from what it was. And with the technology, not just moving from when we moved from Excel to Access to cloud, the quality also changed. When I say quality, the number of fields that we wanted to do. Of course, in 90s, slowly we started trying to see how we can get the email IDs, phone numbers. Maybe we could collect some, their landlines, where we could never reach them at some point of time, but where city they were in, at least, and as much as possible on their organization and what they are doing. And with that, I think we've moved to a lot of collecting. Now, what is your LinkedIn handle, or where you are, what you do, what is your expertise, what are your skills. So we have now started slicing and dicing them so that we can kind of reach out to them in a very, kind of for whatever things that we need to engage with them with. So I think the quality and the way we store them and the way we are able to retrieve the information we want is what has been a big shift and a big enabler to it, which has helped us to grow where we are. And the communication has also changed. So in the 90s, when email started and Yahoo was so popular, the Yahoo groups has really tremendously worked for us. So at every time when a batch was getting formed, so as we started collecting their Yahoo email IDs, for every batch we started creating a Yahoo group.
I see.
And the office was the moderator for the administrator for it, and we started adding. So the friends started adding people to it. So slowly, that's where we started collecting all these email IDs. So our communication was only through these Yahoo groups. So if there is one message, then we go to each of these groups and we post it. So that is how the communication was happening. And it will be very surprised to hear that even today, our Yahoo groups are alive. And some of the batches of our 60s and 70s batch still talk to each other only on the Yahoo groups. Every day we still have messaging that happens on Yahoo groups, because I think that gives them the feeling of home.
I see.
And so from there, we have now moved to what we have as the personalized send them. So previously it used to be again, I think after some time it was just like group mails that could be sent to people. Today we are able to send a lot of personalized mails and with the personal touch with their names and other things, which has helped tremendously in increasing the communication. And so today The open rates are much better. We are able to see who is seen, because once you put it up in a Yahoo group, you really don't know whether they're going to react to it, what they're going to react. Sometimes we miss the communication in the thread. Here we don't miss anything. That has been very very good. And the programs that which was happening very initially used to be an annual get together, was what used to happen, or mostly sometimes it just used to be the AGMs. From there, it has become more kind of a weekly, and a lot of things have shifted from online to from offline to online. Now with this online coming, and in the last 2.5 months that we have all been stuck at home, and I think we've been doing something every kind of program. So that is the level of, and when I say programs, it's mostly the knowledge sharing webinars are happening, and the mentoring is happening, the job opportunities, because a lot of people who have lost jobs. So there's a lot of activities happening in that. So we ran a campaign for all of this through the site, and it has worked. It has worked very well. And our events have also become very innovative and creative. So initially it used to be just somebody would come and talk. So it has become more kind of the formats, and new formats have come. And like it could be like just from so we would go from Ask Me Anything to even an Antakshari or a music band or anything. I mean, they've become very creative in what we want to do and how we want to do certain things, which I think you spoke about a Diamond Jubilee, which we will initially, and then you will see how we try to do things very differently. So being just another get together or just another boring, looking forward to some of these programs that we are doing.
That's great. So
So one thread that runs in all this is technology. I think that's what helped us. And technology has been the greatest enabler. Now, if you see the fundraising part of it, okay, so fundraising for IIT Madras, I think they started around the same time that we registered, okay, which is around 1994. Now, during that same time is when they thought like, okay, since we are now very well connected to the alumni, let's start going out to alumni and start asking for money. And I think the first year they managed to collect around 90,000 rupees or something. And over the years, it has grown so much that we had a whooping thing of rupees 100 crores collected last year.
That's great.
So that has been the amount of alumni we are able to engage with. So reunions are a huge opportunity where we use for fun. And so what is, like I was saying about the institute called the C5, where the students create all the entrepreneurial ventures. So that is something that we project. We do a kind of an exhibition during the reunion, and the batches come and see that, and then they say that, wow, this looks good, and then they kind of sign a pledge form for a particular cause. And so there are scholarships that happen, research projects that happen on IIT. So all this is being done, and what has over the period happened is it was a completely, and it is still a fully alumni run initiative of fundraising. Fundraising is completely, and so at least for the last 10 years that I know, every Wednesday the alumni community meets for a fundraising meeting. So I think that's a great amount of involvement that we have been able to build amongst the alumni. So there is a advisory board which sits and says that, okay, let's do this, can we do that, how do we change it? And we also have a separate office or a 3-member team who are again our alumni, who are fully dedicated for the fundraising projects.
I see. Okay.
So again, because that's an alumni member, the connect to alumni is much better. They understand what this person would look at, or it helps them connect to their batchmates to get to somebody. So things like that has helped in the fundraising. And because the association has been able to give them a good quality of data, so we are able to identify who are the HNIs, where somebody is working, who is in a more influential position. So all this data is something that we share very seamlessly with IIT, and we work very closely for the fundraising part of it.
That's
And
great.
as I said, in all this technology, I don't think just trying to keep it within the four walls would have helped any of this growth.
I see. I see. So those were some amazing examples of using technology to the advantage of IIT Madras Alumni Association, and how it has helped you scale up the operations and scale the reach of alumni participation. So